Hello students, welcome to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Open University Microeconomics UG first year and first semester students. We are trying to discuss and understand the basics of economics. In that, the definitions of economics is one of the major important. We all know general definition, we say that all related to economic activities, we will say that is the scope of economics or definition of economics. But there are many definitions in economics, but we will try to discuss four major definitions of economics. Particularly where Adam Smith definition is the beginning of economics. In 1776, Wealth of Nation, where he compiled all the related economic subject, the ideas into one formal book, where it has seen that the field of economics specialized in the 1776 with the efforts of Adam Smith. So, Adam Smith, what he has given definition is known as wealth definition. So, his major idea is anything related to the wealth should be the scope of the economics. So, why did he say that? So, he says that by doing various economic activities, the wealth will be created or assets which will be accumulated as a wealth. So, the scope of economics should be related to all wealth related items. And since he has systematically has compiled the subject, he was known as a father of economics. According to this definition, economics is a science of the study of wealth only. We have to remember Adam Smith basically talks about wealth only, and this wealth deals with the production, distribution and consumption. So, this wealth centered definition deal with causes behind the creation of wealth. As we discussed, Adam Smith trying to discuss what are the reasons behind how an individual or the group of individuals creates wealth is the major concern of the economics. So, this is what Adam Smith has talked about and defined economics as centric wealth definition. But this definition has got lot of criticism from the various economists, particularly Alfred Marshall. Alfred Marshall, what he has said is this welfare should be the primary concern for the field of economics. Wealth should not be a criteria. Why did he say that? So, Alfred Marshall believes that any positive contribution to the humankind should be, such kind of activities should be considered as a scope of economics. But if you take wealth, some of the illegal activities or negative contribution also might contribute for the economics. So, hence it is important for the economics to understand whether this is improves the well-being of individuals or not. So, that is the reason Marshall was specifically mentioned that your welfare should be the major concern for the economics. So, that is where he says that economics studies the man in the ordinary business of life. So, it examines how person gets his income and how invests it. So, thus on one side it studies the wealth, but the other most important side is the study of well-being. That is where we have discussed, that is the welfare. So, Marshall has strongly believed and counter to the Adam Smith, saying that this is like prospering, this wealth is praying a gospel of mammon. It is like god of wealth. So, hence he has declined, is criticized heavily and put forward the definition of Alfred Marshall. But now subsequently Alfred Marshall definition also has been heavily criticized, and the reason is that economics should not be the matter of concern for the welfare, because any economic activity related should be the scope of economy. There should not be any value judgment in the kind of economic activities. So should be the scope of economics to read without any value of judgment. So now Robbins particularly has come up with the most popular and accepted definition is, he says that the economies of resources are, there is a scarcity, then there is a choice we have to make among the scarce resources. So that is where the choice and scarcity definition by Robbins, Lionel Robbins, become very popular. According to him, economics is a science that studies human behavior as a relationship between the end and scarce means that have an alternative uses. So he says that humans are very uses things of alternative uses, right? Every product we will have an alternative uses. So they make a choice between that. So his major features of his definition is, the wants of human wants are unlimited. It has an alternative use of scarce resources. It is efficient use of resources, and it is needed for optimization. That is the best allocation of resources. If you take a real time example also, as a human wants, when you fulfill, for example, when you want to buy a bike, when you have a cycle, you will desire to buy bike. When you buy a bike, then you desire to buy a good basic car. So once you buy a basic car, then you wanted to have a luxury car. So likewise, human wants are continue to raise. And other side, not only this two-wheeler or four-wheeler, you may have to desire to buy a house in a flat, then independent house, then villa. So you may have such kind of desires to do. So now in between you have to make a choice. How do we go about it? Whether your resources are enough to buy all the desires which you have, or do you give the order of preference so that accordingly you will fulfill one desire, then next will be followed. So that choice and the scarcity which become scope of the economics, how these resources are allocated should be the major concern for the economics. So hence they talk about, Lionel Robbins was the major argument is that the economics should be the core idea of how do we resources we make better. So likewise we can think of lot of examples in our daily life where we see sometime like you want to go to watch a movie or you want to have a biryani. If you have resources you can do both, but when you have only suppose say 100 rupees, so you have to make a choice between one of them, either going to watch movie or having your biryani. So that choice which you make, because the resources are scarce, so you are making a choice of one. So or you buy a book or going to movie. So you have to make an alternative uses. So now the another major definition is definition of growth. Paul A. Samuelson has been given. So he said that you should be concerned about the growth of the economy should be the priority of economics. According to him, economics is a study of how people and society choose with or without the use of money to employ by scarce productive resources which could have alternative uses to produce various commodities over time and distribute them for the consumption now and in the future among various persons and the groups of society. So it basically analyzes the costs and benefits of improving patterns of resource allocations. So this definition is the combination of welfare scarcity definition. So now if you see, we have discussed in this part majorly four definition: Adam Smith wealth definition, Marshall welfare definition, Lionel Robbins the choice and scarcity, and Samuelson growth definition. So these are the major definitions of the economics. Thank you.